Now, away from business, a meeting has been scheduled between the government and leadership of the University Teachers Association of Ghana on Wednesday, October 6th, over the recent notice by the letter to resume members' strike action. The association had complained that the one-month moratorium placed on its suspended strike lapsed 1 month without significant progress. Members of the Technical University Teachers Association of Ghana have served notice to resume their strike if government does not meet their demands by Friday, October 8th. The decision to resume a strike was taken at a National Executive Committee meeting on October 1, and the statement issued on Tuesday, October 5 said, quote, Our circular dated 20th August 2021 with reference number UTAG NAT 2021 UP03 and the third update on the suspension of the withdrawal of teaching and slated activities dated 22nd September 2021 refers a memorandum of agreement was signed between UTAG and government which compelled UTAG to suspend its strike earlier. Now, joining me in studio to have a conversation around this is Anthony Julius, who is the General Secretary of the National Union of Ghana Students. Now, thanks for your time. Are you surprised that after the 1 month stipulated period, there's been no consensus?
I'm not surprised at all, because it seems as though from initial there have been entrenched positions on the issue, not only on the side of UTAG, but also on the side of government. None of the entities is willing to budge on the positions they have taken. And when that happens, what we should expect is that there will be a deadlock. So I'm not in any way surprised that this situation has happened. However, we are disheartened and disappointed that we would have to return to the strike situation again. Some schools are on vacation, but not all are on vacation. If you take the University of Ghana, for example, half of the student population is still in school. They just began this academic year. The frustration that comes with, going and pausing in the middle and all that is overbearing for our students. And we expect both government and UTAG to reach a resolution as soon as possible.
Okay, talking about both government and UTAG, what are you picking from the teacher side and from the government side on the stalemate?
The issue is that there has been contestations over if the dollarization of their salaries is something that should be going on. There have been prior arrangements that the dollarization should end, but then it seems UTAG is not satisfied with that due to the depreciations and all that. But according to them, they made concessions on some of the elements in their demand, but government is still not willing to accept what they are offering. And we think that that is not in the right. If there is labor unrest, it goes against us, students, for example, when it comes to education. And it goes against the government to some extent because the well-being of all institutions are in the hands of government. So government must, rise to the occasion and do their part so that as soon as possible, UTAG can withdraw this strike action, and then we proceed with our academic.
Then again, government is meeting UTAG later this afternoon. What are your expectations?
I expect that this meeting, even though UTAG has already started, making their position much of an entrenched one, that if government is not going to accept hook, line, and sinker what they are, proposing, then they wouldn't even sit for the meeting. I am hoping that they change this position, and I am also expecting government to make some concessions. We've had several reports that UTAG has, felt disrespected in the conversations. That, for example, Minister of Finance not minding them and all those issues. I don't think that we can make progress when one party feels disrespected in a negotiation.
Okay.
We must respect both parties. Both parties must learn to respect each other's opinions on all these issues. These are issues of dialogue to solve them. We don't need the strike actions to necessarily be the pressure that pushes the change.
Okay, so now what is NUG's position on the General Legal Counsel with regards to the intake of law students. But before you give your thoughts on that, the National Union of Ghana Students (NUGS) has expressed disappointment in the action of the independent examination and the General Legal Council, which has led to the disqualification of hundreds of law students who qualified but were refused admission into the Ghana School of Law. Again, at the media briefing on Wednesday, NUGS called on Parliament to, as a matter of urgency, look into the matter. NUGS also gave the General Legal Council 10 days to take measures to remedy the errors it made. All right, so like you're saying, what is NUGS' stance on this?
Yes, on the issue of the law school, we find it very, disheartening. It comes as a disappointment to us that the General Legal Council continues with these abuse of students' right to education. We believe that systems should be in place such that if people duly qualify, they are given the opportunity to pursue their ambitions. But if we have a situation where certain institutions have been put in place to ensure we produce quality lawyers, but instead of sticking to that, they've made themselves gatekeepers to the profession to prevent people from entering. It's something that should not be tolerated. If you look at the the score sheets that they released, and it's on their websites right now. If you look at the grades very well, you realize that some 499 students indeed passed the examinations based on the 2019, 2020, and 2021 regulations which govern the the conduct of the examinations. You're supposed to have 50% of the total scores, and you qualify. But in the rather anticlimactic turn of events, the General Legal Council is now telling us that if you get 50%, it's not enough. You must
say you need to get 50% in both parts, the Part A and Part B.
But how does it work that way when over the years that has not been the regulation? And if it were a case that the students have been communicated to ahead of this examination, that this is the new regulation you must follow, then we all know that this is binding. But for an institution that trains lawyers to be implementing their own regulations retrospectively, it doesn't make any sense to anyone.
Okay, so as NUGS, what steps are you taking to address the situation?
Yeah, so our petition is on the way to Parliament. We are petitioning Parliament on various counts. We stated in our press release, a press statement earlier, that this travesty of justice cannot continue while Parliament continues on recess. The ambitions of people, their aspirations are on the line. And we can't run a state that kills the ambitions of its people. So Parliament must, as a matter of urgency, resume and respond to the petitions that are coming in. The petitions are not coming from only NUGS. We saw other, people who are legal practitioners. They've gone through the process, writing petitions to Parliament that this issue is unfair, is unjust, it shouldn't be tolerated. So we expect Parliament to act on those issues as soon as possible.
Thank you so much for your time. You heard Anthony Kwame Julius. He's the General Secretary of the National Union of Ghana Students there.